So now we are going to discuss about the quality of water and drinking water standards. And the quality of water is nothing but it implies as the characteristics of the water. Okay. So the characteristics of the raw water or treated water may be analyzed for their to know their physical, chemical and bacteriological characteristics. Okay, because it contain impurities. So the types of impurities, that is the impurities present in the wastewater may be in the form of suspended or colloidal or dissolved form. Okay, so based on the size of impurity, it is divided into like this. So the following particles, the type of particles imparts the certain types of the impurities. Okay, so the physical test are conducted, examination were conducted to find out the physical characteristics. Likewise, the chemical uh, examinations were conducted to calculate the chemical characteristics of the water. The physical characteristics of the water are turbidity, color, taste and odor, then temperature and specific conductivity. Here the clay silt which is present in the water imparts the turbidity, and it is expressed in terms of nephelometric turbidity units, that is NTU, and it should be the value of 5 to 10 ppm. There is a 10 NTU in the water. The color, next one is color. It is caused by means of the dissolved organic matters present in the wastewater, that is present in the water, and here it may be measured by means of platinum cobalt method. The permissible limit for the color is 5 to 20 ppm. It is measured by tentometer. And the next one is specific conductivity. So it implies as the total amount of the dissolved salts present in the water. Next one is taste and odor. Okay. It's maybe due to the presence of microorganism and dissolved gases such as hydrogen sulfide, methane, and all the thing. Okay. So the odor may be sweetish. There is a fishy, moldy, and there is a offensive thing. So the intensities of odor are measured in terms of the threshold number. Next one is temperature. The temperature above 28 degree or undesirable for drinking water supply, and it is expressed in terms of milligram per liter. Okay. So these are the chemical characteristics of the water, and first one is pH value. pH value is nothing but it implies as the concentration of hydrogen ion present in the water, and the value implies as between 0 to 14, 0 to 7 indicates the acidity of the water, and 7 to 14 implies as the alkalinity ranges of the water. So this is the formula which implies as the which indicate the pH of the ion from the hydrogen ion concentration. Okay. So for public water supply of the pH, it should be in between 6.5 to 8.5. It is determined by means of the pH paper. Next one is hardness. Hardness is divided into temporary hardness and the permanent hardness. The temporary hardness may be due to presence of the carbonates and sulfates. Permanent hardness is may be due to the presence of chlorides and nitrates. So the permanent hardness is removed by means of zeolite process, but the temporary hardness, if we boil the water, simply the temporary hardness removed. The hardness of the water is determined by means of the EDTA method. Okay, next one is nitrogen content. It indicates the presence of organic matter, and the 4 forms of the nitrogen content indicates the status of the decomposition of organic matter. So for the free ammonia indicates the initial stage, and albuminide indicates the decomposition, that is starts of the decomposition, and nitrates indicates the partially decomposed organic matter, and the Nitrites indicates the presence of a partially decomposed organic matter, and nitrates indicates the final stage in the oxidation of the nitrogen compound. The excess amount of nitrogen causes the methemoglobinemia. So the total, the gel nitrogen is the value of free ammonia and organic nitrogen. The chlorides are present in the water in the form of sodium chloride, and the permissible limit for the chlorides in the drinking water is 250 parts per million. Then the total solids. The total solids includes the solids in suspension, colloidal and dissolved form. Okay. So it can be determined by evaporating the water and weighing the residue. Likewise, the suspended solids is determined by filtering the water. So the permissible limit for TDS in the drinking water is 500 to 1000 ppm. Next one is dissolved gases. That is dissolved oxygen, carbon dioxide and H2S. So this gives the bad taste and odor for the water, and the dissolved oxygen is the main thing which is available for the living organism in the water. So it should not be lesser in value. So it should be within the limit to maintain the quality of the water. So the dissolved oxygen limit for the potable water is 5 to 10 ppm determined by Ringler method. So the next one is metals and chemical substances. These are the thing: iron and manganese and sulfate, then fluoride. So the fluoride content lesser than the 1 ppm cause cavities, and if it exceeds 1.5 ppm, then it discolor the teeth. The sulfate concentration in the water cause diarrhea if it exceeds the limit. The permissible limit should be 200 to 400 milligram per liter in the drinking water. The iron and manganese is the main cause for the stain in the cloth, and the limit for iron is 0.3 ppm, and for manganese it should be less than 0.05 ppm. Next one is bacteriological characteristics. It is nothing but the study of the presence of bacteria, virus, algae and protozoa. That is, it is the study of the harmful things. The bacteria may be pathological, that is a pathological one, or the normal one, that is it may be pathogenic bacteria, or it may be harmless bacteria. Okay, so this microscopic characteristics will give the study of the presence of bacteria or all the thing. Okay, bacteria is a single celled organism, and the test to detect the bacteria present in the water are total count test and E. coli test and membrane filter technique these are the things are followed to find out the bacteria. So next one is MPN. Then it is called as most probable number. So it is the bacterial density which is mostly present in the water. It is used to report the amount of bacteria present in the water. The permissible limit for the MPN, it should be 0. Okay, it should be in the 0. Next one is water quality parameters and drinking water standards. So for various parameters, the Central Pollution Control Board and the State Pollution Control Board prescribes the limit, and also many Bureau of Standards and WHO, that is World Health Organization, gives the permissible limit for the various parameters present in the water. So the desirable value of those parameters has given where the enormous amount of water sources available. If the amount of water resources are limited, there is amount of quantity of water availability is very meager, then we go for the maximum limit. So otherwise the desirable limit should be followed for those parameters. Here the color indicated in the Hudson units, 5 is desirable and odor is unobjectionable and taste is agreeable. So the turbidity is 5 NTU and a pH value of about 6.5 to 8.5. The total hotness in terms of calcium carbonate is it should be 300 milligram per liter is the desirable value for the drinking water. So these are the values. The desirable limit for the parameters are prescribed by highest standards 10,500 in the year of 1991 and updated in 1995. Then the iron value should be 0.3 milligram per liter and chlorides of about 250 milligram per liter. The permissible value of the free chlorine should be 0.2 milligram per liter, and for in the case of dissolved solids it should be 500 milligram per liter. The calcium is the value of permissible limit is 75 milligram per liter. In the case of copper it is 0.05 milligram per liter. For manganese it is 0.1 milligram per liter. And for the remaining parameters, the values of the desirable and the permissible, that is maximum limit of the parameters has given for various metals, ions and present in the water. So next one is we are going to discuss about a solved examples regarding the suspended solids present in the wastewater. Water. Calculate the suspended and volatile suspended solids given the following data. Here the weight of crucible and weight of crucible with dry solids and with the ash as given in terms of grams. Here the volume of the sample filtered as taken as 50 ml. So suspended solids can be calculated by means of weight of dry solids to the sample of corresponding sample volume which we are taking. So by substituting the values we are getting the value as 90 milligram per liter. So from the weight of solids given in problem is in gram. So for conversion factor to the gram per ml, from the gram per ml to the milligram per liter we use 10 to the power of 6. Next problem, calculate the hydrogen ion concentration having the pH of 1.57. So this is the formula we use for the calculation of the hydrogen ion concentration from the pH. That is a pH is equal to logarithmic value of the hydrogen ion concentration. So reversely here the hydrogen ion concentration is given as antilog of pH. By substituting the value we are getting the hydrogen ion concentration present in the water. Next one is a groundwater sample was found to contain 500 milligram per liter of total dissolved solids. Here they are asking what is the percentage of TDS present in the sample. Here TDS present in the water is 500 milligram per liter. So it should be converted into gram per liter. Here the amount of water is 1 liter. It is also is equal to 1000 grams. So by substituting the value, that is a gram to the 1 liter is replaced with 1000 gram to get the value in terms of percentage multiplied by the 100. So the TDS percentage present in the sample is 0.05 percentage.